Welcome to Week Dependent Woman, a podcast where we, Regina Bernardo,
Jaeunsubhakij,
and Naya Jorgensen,
make our statements on life by sharing stories, advice, perspectives, and laughs. Yes, this title is a misnomer, and while we're still working on the strength thing, we're happy to depend on each other as life goes on. So this is episode 1, the first of many, I hope, where we will be talking about what's just been happening the past 4 months, you know? Because so much has happened.
Yeah. I just remember, beginning of the semester, when, we first started talking about it, obviously this is, racist, and, it shouldn't have been called this, but, when we would talk about it, we'd all call it, Wuhan. We would literally just call it that. Mm-hmm. Or, I had gone to a college audition, and the first thing that the lady said to me after she found out I was from Singapore, she was like, "How's the virus?" And I was like, really? That's all you know about Asia? Gosh, whatever. I was like, it's fine, I think. I don't think it's that big of a deal. And I was just I just didn't think anything of it.
I didn't want to believe that it was a big deal, so I kind of just acted like it wasn't. I was like, guys, it's the flu, it's gonna be fine.
I remember you saying that.
I don't know. And then it got to the US.
And there are definitely a lot of things to be sad about this year. Ever since, I don't even know what day, March 20 something? Mid to late March. We have been learning from home. See, I don't even know, time just blends together. We were, sentenced to home-based learning by school, and then after spring break, everything just escalated to being sentenced at home by the government. And then, I don't know, we just kind of, without almost, realizing it, we, missed out on, the best, quote-unquote, best part of high school. Because for us, I don't think that was the best. You can't really say that.
I was talking to a friend about this the other day, that, I feel like school has worked so hard to, make this time, easy for us to be able to learn at home, and by changing class times, and especially for seniors, right, making us feel extremely special and valued and treasured. The fact that we got a certificate for grit, I was okay.
Oh my gosh.
When they handed that to me,
it was cute.
It was cute, but when they handed that to me on the last day of school, I was like, oh, okay. Thank you. Yeah, but they've made us feel so special, right? No other class is gonna get a senior walk like we did. They're not gonna get even the amount of gifts that we got, right, from all of these different school organizations. They made us feel so special, but also we'll never know what it was like to have a regular Gratitude Star, or the regular senior walk with all of the students there, or even just going to in-person classes as an SSS, there's certain things that we won't ever be able to get it to experience. So while they tried to work really hard to make up for, I guess, what we lost, it's hard to say whether or not they actually made up for it, because we'll never experience what we actually were supposed to have.
I definitely appreciate that there's a historical element to all of this, and even just in terms of high schoolers, right? Because everyone's OMG, the class of 2020 is going through this no one else, and that's cool, and my kid's gonna be oh my god, that was you, and I'll never let them stay homesick from school, but I guess
ouch.
No matter how hard everyone tries to make it better, I still just kind of want my senior year back.
In terms of the other 3.5 years of high school, would you say that matched your expectation if you look back on who you were in 8th grade?
Yeah, actually, I think so. I definitely couldn't have predicted specific events, but I knew that there would be the kinds of ups and downs that I've experienced. And I don't know about you guys, but sometimes, when you're walking through the hall and you're saying hi to people, you're on your way to a meeting, prom is this weekend, you're oh my god, this is so high school. It really felt like that for me.
I feel I think that it was, like, better than what I expected. I don't know exactly what I, like, expected, and obviously I think there were certain things that, like, didn't happen that I was like, this is gonna happen when I'm in high school. But, like, something, like, that, like, wasn't what I expected, but I was, like, happily surprised by, is that I essentially maintained, like, the same friend group all throughout high school, and, like, everybody told us in 9th grade, they were like, be prepared to, like, leave high school, like, not with the same people that you entered with, and we're like, are you gonna tell us that we're not gonna be friends? Like, is that what you're trying to say to us? Like, it would be upperclassmen just, like, talking to me and my friends, and they'd be like, just, like, remember, like, you can make new friends, and we're like, whoa. Oh, 100% no.
Regina and I are leaving high school with different people than me.
But it's like happily so. Like, I did get what I expected to come out of high school in terms of, like, the feelings, you know, like, how I would feel during these times. Like say, like, for college, for example, like, I expected to be stressed out, and I definitely was. So that, like, fulfilled my expectation. And then for, like, other parts of high school, like, I asked this volleyball, like, win their game by, like, 1 point, or, like, watching girls basketball, like, win their game, and, like, those feelings, and, like, being at those games, and, like, feeling, like, part of such a big community. I knew I would feel that in high school. And I, like, I'm so glad that, like, I got that, you know? And I guess I also just, like, I knew that there would be times when I really would, like, lose people who were close to me. But, like, in middle school, I could not tell you who those people would be. And you just don't know how people are going to turn out. And you don't know, like, who's gonna stick around and who isn't, and stuff like that. But, I mean, like, at the end of the day, I'm, like, I'm very happy with where I am. And I'm not, like, yeah.
I don't think I could have predicted our friendship, like, coming into high school.
Yeah,
you know?
I was going to say, like, I did not expect to be friends with you guys.
Wow, you don't have to say it with such, like, disgust.
No, that's not what I meant.
Naya, you were my friend crush. What?
No. That's not.
Naya,
I wanted to be friends with you.
Oh my god.
No, it's not that I didn't want to be. I just didn't know that it would turn out like this. No.
Wow.
I've been misunderstood. So, next question.
How have your relationships with the friends, acquaintances, and teachers changed?
I think, like, my relationships with my teachers actually got better.
Really?
Yeah. I think I was, like, more, like, this is so sad to say, but, like, I was, like, more, like, stressed, upset, depressed within this time, like, outwardly towards my teachers, like, in classes than I've ever been before, because I feel like if it was just, like, if I was having a bad day in, like, a day-to-day school life, like, I could go talk to my friends in the middle of class, like, between classes to go deal with it, or, like, go home, recuperate, and, like, come back, and it would be fine. But the fact that it was, like, every day, and I was, like, the quarantine depression hit me, like, really hard, I, like, had to express it to my teachers, and, like, had to outwardly ask, like, please, can I get an extension, and, like, talk about what was actually going on in my life. Like, I think that actually, like, helped me build a better relationship with my teachers.
They've definitely become more, like, open. Like, I don't know that I've become closer, necessarily, to my teachers, but, like, I mean, Joy, you definitely saw this with me in history. Like, teachers just became so much more understanding. Not that they weren't understanding before, you know what I mean?
But, like, outwardly
I guess just
so.
This general... Yeah. I mean, because we all had to be, right? And with each other and with everyone, so we all just have to care about each other more.
Well, I guess, like, this is more of, like, an internal realization, but just being away from people made me really value the relationships that I have. You know? Yeah. Like, when you don't see certain people for every day, even if it's just, like, that one teacher that you don't really have a connection with, you start to really miss it. And I think in that way, like, that's how your relationship becomes stronger, and that's why, like, your teachers start to show that they care more, is because, like, everyone feels it now. Like, you know, there's, like, some saying, like, you don't know what you've been, like...
have until it's gone.
Yeah, exactly.
And at the same time, you kind of realize, like, the people that, like, not, this sounds so bad, but you kind of realize who you didn't need, right? Like, those friendships that were very, like, surface level and shallow, and, like, they just don't kind of exist anymore. Like, I don't know, like, I'm not really, like, snapping people that, like, I'm not close to.
When we were there on the last day, like, I was standing in the hallway, and I was just, like, looking around, and when, like, everybody was on, like, the different levels, right, I, like, almost burst into tears, because I was like, there are some people here who I'm, like, not friends with, but, like, we're acquaintances, like, if they're in, like a class with me or like advisory or whatever, like I'm never gonna see them again after this. You know, like there are certain people that I will see again because like I will make the conscious effort to like keep in contact with them, but like certain people that I just like see on my like walks to different classes, like I'm not gonna see these people ever again. Like that's just so freaky to me.
If you had known that this was what the last semester of high school would have been like, would you have done anything differently over the past 4 years? Maybe not the years, but I think I would have, like, lived it up more first semester. Because I felt that, like, I was like, since SSS is going to be so wild, it's my duty to not have fun first semester. Like, it was just, like, work, grind all the time. Because I was like, oh, it's fine. Like, next semester I can actually enjoy being alive.
I spent a lot of my time being, like, I know putting off things and, like, not hanging out with people because I was like, oh, I have college apps. Like, I gotta finish my college apps. Or, like, I was, like, really nervous to go to, like, this certain party, so I just, like, chose not to go. And, like, I was like, oh, I'm gonna have an opportunity because there was supposed to be, like, another one in second semester. I was like, I'll just go in second semester, you know? Like, it'll be fine. Or all these, like, different things that, like, yeah, just, like, spent more time with people.
I guess, like, for me, over the years, and this is like something kind of trivial, but I guess I would just like cut seniors more slack, you know? Like I was kind of one of those people that was like, why do seniors get so much special treatment? Like they're just like all of us but older. Why do they get all these things in like the foyer? Why do they get to wear these special sweatshirts? And I was just bitter, you know, because I just like didn't get those things. But now, like, having been as like a senior and having had it worse than so many, or like, you know, it's like relatively worse than like other classes, like just like the respect I have is just so much higher now for all the classes before us.
Even first semester, it's so hard to like keep doing stuff because like you feel like the future is like right in front of you, and it's so hard to like still care about high school because you're like, bro, like I'm off, like I'm out.
So to end on like a more positive note, what would you guys say is like the best thing to come out of this really strange time of like being in quarantine and just having a different senior year? I know it's hard. There are so many great things to choose from.
Probably the best thing to come out of this time is just like the empathy that has come with it, like for other people, because like we've all been like just hashtag going through it, like no matter how anybody else like deals with like high school life or whatever, like this has hit us all in some way, you know? So just like I think that care and that empathy that we've all been feeling for like one another and like that connectedness is something that I think was really great to come out of this time.
This is a weird example, but Jennifer and I were saying like if I get like rejected from a graduate school or something, right, I'm gonna be like, well, at least I get to go, you know what I mean? Like at least there's no chance it's gonna be freaking canceled, you know? I don't know, I guess I'll just have such a greater ability to withstand little things and to know that, like, I don't know, like, I'm lucky to just, like, have things going on, even if they're bad.
For me, the best thing to come out of this time hasn't come yet, and I know it's because, like, it's going to be that day when I don't have to, like, wear a mask outside anymore, and when I can, like, hug my people, you know? Like, I've been so deprived of that for, like, the past few months that when that comes, it'll feel, like, infinitely better than all the other times I've been able to do it and, like, taken it for granted in the past. And so I guess it's just to be able to cherish those little things now that I just haven't been able to before. And I guess that's a wrap on our very first episode. Thank you so much for joining us this week, and make sure to stay tuned for the next one. We hope you guys have enjoyed listening to us week-dependent women.